Good evening, everyone. Welcome to our seventh class of this advanced English course. Please confirm if you can hear me.
Yes, teacher, good evening.
Good evening, Honai. Good evening, Jarais. Where are your partners?
Good evening.
Good evening. Where are your partners? Apparently, this is going to be a private class. Only
Not
Jarais.
exactly.
Yeah, well, we have to begin. This was the time we agreed. But for some reason, on Sunday and the last the Wednesday before that Sunday, we had the same issue. The only class that all of you were here, almost all of you were here together, was the first one. But it's okay. Let's begin. So for tonight, we have an easy class, easy topic, and a couple of exercises that we're going to review now. Um, Did you do the practice that I upload on Sunday? Did you do it already?
No, teacher, sorry.
Okay, so you will do it
I
after the class?
realize. Yes.
Okay. What about
So
you,
sorry.
Hanai? Did you do it?
You talk about the platform.
Yeah, the practice, the last practice, practice number 6, the one that is on the platform.
Yes, I finished.
You
Yeah,
you did it?
yeah, I did. Yes, teacher, I did.
And what about the audio? How was your experience with the audio session, the audio practice inside the practice?
About you talk about the listen about the audio.
About the listening, yeah, remember that I added a listening to
Yes,
the
teacher.
test now.
Yes, for me, teacher, I needed to repeat one or two.
Okay,
Yes, but teacher, I try to understand. Yes, I
okay.
like it.
You liked it. Okay, that's good. That's good. That's what I want to know
Yes.
if you liked it.
Uh-huh. In a difficult, I need to listen, but in a difficult like other listening. When I listen other homework about this, sometimes I don't understand nothing, and the people I don't know if the grabar, how do you say?
Record.
Uh, that recording in not listen very well, but this audio is okay.
Okay, okay. That's good to know. That's good to know. Okay, I will. I will continue. I will keep doing this, adding audios to the practice. Um, for this practice, after we see all the topics, you will understand. We will work with a wish structure. It is based on the wish structure, and it's pretty clean. It is an in control environment, so there's no like background noise, but you have different accents because they use different nationalities in the audio. So different nationalities are speaking and giving their expressing their thoughts, sharing their thoughts with us. Um, and I for this practice, I decided um, to have an article that is even I don't want to say difficult, but a little bit more complicated than the other ones. I think that we need to do that to take it up a notch, like Americans would say, because you need that. You need to be able to read fast and to understand complex readings. So the questions are more complex too. So I will be taking every week these audios and articles up a notch just because it is the best thing for you. I'm not sure yet if you will take the Cambridge version of Infotep or the one or the test that you took at the beginning of the course. Whichever you do, all of this is going to help you. If you take the Cambridge test, well, the Cambridge test does not have audios or reading exercises, which is a bummer because I think that that's part of the evaluation. You need to be able to read, and they should evaluate that. But if you don't have to, if you take that test, if they give you that test, well, you won't have articles or audios to listen to. But if you have to take the test that you took at the beginning of the course, well, as far as I know, that test has readings and grammar. It doesn't have audio. It should have audio, but it doesn't have audios to listen to. Well, with that being said, without further ado, let's begin tonight's class. Okay, so in our last class, we studied and discussed tag questions, right? So let's start with our first exercise. Here we have pretty simple. A couple of exercises where we have to complete the tag, right? We have to complete the tag. Okay, so let's do this one in threes, right? It's too easy. So the first three, who wants to read it?
Me, teacher.
Okay, let's go.
Okay, teacher. You are a student. Aren't you? She doesn't live here, does she? They can swim, can't they?
Muy bien. You are a student, aren't you? She doesn't live here, does she? They can swim, can't they? Muy bien. Remember that the intonation is going down or up depending on if you are asking a real question, is going up, or if you're only asking for confirmation because you already know the answer, the intonation goes down. Okay, let's continue with 4, 5, and 6. 4, 5, and 6. Let's go, Jedi's. Go ahead.
Okay, number 4, he went home early, didn't he? Number 5, we should leave now, shouldn't we? Number 6, I'm your teacher, aren't I?
Well done. So he went home early, didn't he? We should leave home now, shouldn't we? And I'm your teacher, aren't I? Okay, Edison. Okay, Edison. Number 7, number 8, and number 9.
Hey, good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
Number 7, let's start the class. Shall we? Nobody called, did they? The move was great, wasn't it?
Wasn't it? Okay, let's start the class, shall we? Okay. We use, I don't know if you know this, but shall is a future tense verb, right? As like will, but it's not common to use it in English anymore. It's an all expression, but still Americans use it to make an invitation, like shall we? It sounds pretty formal, pretty polite, but we normally don't make sentences with shall, like I shall go, okay, instead of using will. But in the test, you have one question. In the Cambridge test, you have one question using shall. So remember that we use shall for invitations, for things like that. Okay, number 10, Patricia Rodriguez, number 10.
Good evening.
Good evening.
She has finished, hasn't she?
She has finished, hasn't she? Very well. Let's continue with exercise B. Correct the mistakes. He likes music, isn't he? That sounds so weird. They aren't busy, aren't they? Who wants to tell me what's the correct form of the first three? Tell me, Edison.
He likes music, doesn't he? They aren't busy, are there? Are they? Mary can drive, can't she?
Muy bien. He likes music, doesn't he? They aren't busy, are they? Maria can drive, can't she? Okay, well done. The last two. Last two. Tell me, Odile.
Hello.
Hello.
Okay, the last two. Let's eat will we? Let's eat shall we? I'm late, and I'm late, aren't I?
Okay, so let's eat, shall we? Let's eat, shall we? And I'm late, aren't I? Okay, easy peasy, guys. Easy peasy. The hard thing here is to remember this when you're talking. Okay, that's the hard part to remember. Okay, let's continue with exercise C, create tag questions. So here we have affirmations or negative sentences. We just have to add the tag question. So number one, number two, and number three. Who wants to do it?
Me, teacher.
Go ahead, Anai.
Okay. She is your friend, isn't she? They don't work here, do they? He was tired, wasn't he?
Okay, well done. And the last two, tell me, Adil, 4 and 5.
Okay, 4 and 5. You can speak English. You can speak English, can you? And we should study more. We should study more, shouldn't we?
Shouldn't we? Okay, you can speak
Shouldn't we?
English, can't
Okay.
you? We should study more, shouldn't we? That can't. Americans are like a shh. Can't you? Can't you? Didn't you? They have like a shh. Okay, so pretty easy, guys. Let's continue. Okay, we talked about the connectors, a lot of connectors actually. But as I said in our last class, you get used to this by adding them consciously when you're speaking. That's the hardest part. Okay, let's see here. Okay, we have here, okay, 10. So let's do this in pairs. Number one and number two. Go ahead, Jarais.
Number one, the project was expensive. Therefore, the company approved it. Number two,
Therefore. Okay.
she studied very hard. Constantly, she achieved excellent grades.
Okay. Consequently. Okay. Okay, so let's see number one for a second. The project was expensive. Therefore, here doesn't match because here we have like a problem, right? It was expensive. So whatever comes next
Yes.
is going to be like is going to express a contrast of action. It has to
Okay.
be. Therefore, is like a logical conclusion. Okay, I was
Okay.
there, so therefore I help her. But here, the one is the match is however, because it is a
However.
contrast. So the project was expensive. However, the company approved it. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
the
Okay.
project was expensive. However, the company approved it. Okay,
Yes, thank you, teacher.
always. So she studied very hard. Consequently, she achieved excellent grades. Okay, let's continue with number three and number four.
Me, number three and number four.
Yeah, number three and number four.
Many students struggle with pronunciation, such as stress and intonation. And number four, the weather conditions were dangerous. As a result, the flight was cancelled.
Okay, okay, well done. So many students struggle with pronunciation. This word is such as. Okay, many students struggle with pronunciation, such as stress and intonation. Remember that such as is in the same category as for instance, for example, but we use it in different contexts. Number four, the weather conditions were dangerous. As a result, the flight was canceled. This is pretty easy. Okay, let's continue with number five and number six. Number five and number six. Tell me, Edison, number five and number six.
Number 5, they had little expensive. Nevertheless, his performance very well. And number 6, technology improved communication. However, it can also create distraction.
Okay, so he had little experience. Nevertheless, he performed very well. He had little experience. Nevertheless, he performed very well. As you can see, this one is similar to however. They have different nuances, but the idea is similar because it's like a contrast. Okay? That's why you don't have nevertheless and however in this case because you might feel tempted to use however because it could make some sense too. He had little experience, however, well, it can make pretty good sense. However, he performed very well. Nevertheless, has a different nuance, but at the end is a contrast too. Technology improves communication. However, it can also create distractions. Here, the same thing. Nevertheless, okay, it will depend on what you're trying to say, what will be the emphasis, but they are similar. I'm not saying that they are exactly the same because they're not, but similar. Okay, number 7 and number 8, Odile.
Okay, number 7, the company reduced unnecessary expense, thus profit increase I don't know what to say,
Significantly,
significantly,
significantly.
significant, sorry.
It's okay.
And number 8, several countries invest heavily in renewable energy, such as Germany and Sweden.
Okay, Sweden. Okay, so the company
Correct.
reduced unnecessary expenses, thus profits increased significantly. Significantly. Okay, we have to practice this word. So, thus, if you read the Bible in English, you will find this word a lot. Thus. Okay, several countries invest heavily in renewable energy. Renewable energy. such as Germany and Sweden. Okay, number 9 and number 10. Tell me, Patricia.
Okay, number 9. The proposal was clear and practical. Nevertheless, the manager approved it immediately. In number 10, the exam was difficult. Therefore, most students passed.
Okay, so let's stick with this a bit, Patricia. Let's see them again. So the proposal was clear and practical. This sentence is not creating a problem, okay? It's not stating a problem. It's actually saying something good, right? The proposal was clear and practical. So I won't expect something bad after that, right? But something good because it was clear and practical. So, nevertheless, makes the sentence that was at the beginning or there is at the beginning like it was something bad, and it wasn't. It was something good. The proposal was clear and practical. Consequently, makes more sense. Consequently, the manager approved it immediately because nevertheless implies that the previous clause, the previous sentence, had something that was not entirely good or that wasn't entirely right. So in this case, we don't have that. Okay. The same thing with number 10. The exam was difficult. You see, this sentence is stating something that is not good. That the exam was difficult is not something that is good. Okay. So here I will expect some contrast. However, makes sense. Most students passed. Okay. In addition, makes no
Okay.
sense here, and therefore makes no sense here because it doesn't help me to connect with the previous idea. The previous idea is telling me something bad, actually, that the exam was difficult. So, what I'm expecting is all the students had a hard time doing it. All the students failed. The majority of the students failed. Is what I'm expecting because you just said that the exam was difficult. So if it was difficult, it's because of the results, right? But here, however, we have a contrast with the previous clause. Most students passed. Okay. As I said on our Sundays class, if I give you this same exercise and I tell you to memorize all the connectors, and I give you this exercise, but I don't give you the options, I only give you the blank space, would you be able to identify rapidly, instantly the answer? You have to be able to picture it. As soon as you read the sentence, your brain, you need this common sense that tells you, okay, I know what goes there because of for what the sentence is implying. As I said also before on our Sundays class, some tests that you can take maybe for a job or something else, they give you practices like that where you don't have options to choose from. They only give you the sentences in the blank space. You have to come up with the option, with the answer by yourself. Okay, so it is important to practice this in that way, not because you have three options. Okay, at the beginning, that's how you do it because you're learning. But after you finish this course or later on, you can practice this. This will give you an edge when you take or when you're talking because you will remember what is missing in a sentence, or you will remember what connector you should use in this particular sentence, especially if you are into writing. Okay, so let's continue with exercise B. Here we have to rewrite these sentences formally. Okay, So again, let's keep working in pairs. It's been working so far. So he was tired, but he continued working. She studied hard. She studied hard, so she passed the test. So all of these sentences are correct. Okay, we are not correcting an error here, but these are not formal sentences. You have to rewrite them using connectors that make the sentences look or sound more formal. Okay, who is going to begin? Tell me, Edison.
Number one, although he was tired, he continued working. Number two, she studied hard, therefore she passed the test.
Okay, okay. So the number one you said although, right?
Yes.
Okay. Although he was tired, he continued working. That's good. I would have used he was tired, however, he continued working, or he was tired, nevertheless, he continued working. And the second one, I agree entirely with you. She studied hard, therefore, which is the same as saw, she passed the test. Or consequently, right? As a result. Or thus, right? She studied hard, thus she passed the test. Number three and number four, they improved the system and they also reduced costs. The restaurant was expensive, but the food was excellent. Tell me, Onai, number three and number four.
Number three, they improved the systems. Furthermore, they reduced costs. Number four, the restaurant was expensive. However, the food was excellent.
However.
However,
Yeah,
excuse me,
yeah.
however.
You say whatever and what? Okay, it's okay. Okay, so number three, they improved the system furthermore. Okay, further. This word, where is it? Is it here? Well, it's a combination of two words. Remember further, right? Further and more. Furthermore. Okay, let's continue with number five and number six. He missed the meeting, so he didn't receive the information, and the project was difficult, but the team completed. Okay, we're gonna do this only these two sentences, five and six, and we're gonna continue because I think that you got the idea. All the other sentences are repeating the same thing, so we don't need to keep going over it. So, with these two sentences, we're going to finish this practice and continue with the other one. Okay, Patricia, let's go.
Number five, he missed the meeting. Consequently, he didn't receive the information.
Receive the information, okay?
The information, okay. And number six, the project was difficult. However, the team completed.
Okay, well done. However, we use but a lot, okay? Because but is the most common connector for contrast. But you can replace sorry, with nevertheless and however, okay? With nevertheless and however. Okay, guys, let's move forward. Okay, here remember that I reduced the amount of exercises. We had 10 here, but I sent only 3. We are going to work with those 3. Okay, so one exercise for each. Okay, who wants to do the first one? Who wants to do the honors with the first one? Let's go, Edison.
Firstly, exercise is essential for good health. Furthermore, regular activities improve cardiovascular functions. However, excessive exercise may cause injury. In conclusion, balance is necessary.
Okay, okay. Well done, Edinson. Firstly, exercise is essential for good health. Okay. Further, remember, further. Okay, here we have the word. Further, 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 more. Two words here. Further. Furthermore, regular activity improves cardiovascular function. However, excessive exercise may cause injuries. In conclusion, balance is necessary. Okay, let's continue with number two. We have one for three of you. Okay, let's go, Jarais.
Okay. Firstly, technology has transformed education. Moreover, students can access information instantly. I
Yes,
don't know how
that's
to
correct.
pronounce
Instantly.
this word. Okay, instantly. However, some learners become distracted by social media. Therefore, teachers must encourage responsible use.
Okay, okay, well done. So, firstly, technology has transformed education. This word we pronounce it like edu instead of education, education. Moreover,
Yes,
student. Uh,
I listen about that. Is the only word we can pronounce like that?
that has a
Ed,
D.
ed, yes, education. I think no, I don't remember another word. Sorry.
Yeah, I don't remember another word either. Um, but this one is pretty particular because I remember that I saw a person on Instagram correcting another person because he said or she said, because I don't remember if it was a woman or a man. One of those pronouns said education, and the people in the comments were criticizing that, and that person took the time to Google some videos from Americans saying
Mm-hmm.
education. I remember when I watched the series House of Cards. That was the first time that I paid attention. It was a long time ago. It was when Netflix was launched. I remember that I paid attention to when the congressman, when he was speaking about an education bill. I remember that caught my attention, education, because in my mind was
Yes.
education. So since then I have been able to remember that education. Okay.
Education.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you, teacher.
Always. Okay. Moreover, students can access information instantly. However, some learners become distracted by social media. Therefore, teachers must encourage responsible use. And the last one, number three.
Okay, teacher. Number three. Uh, firstly, the sound firstly, teacher,
Yeah, firstly, yes.
and the other first more.
Furthermore, firstly, furthermore,
Furthermore,
yeah.
oh teacher. Firstly, climate change Change affects many countries. Furthermore, temperatures continue to rise globally. As a result, governments are investing in renewable energy. Nevertheless, more action is still needed.
Okay. Okay, so here we have two, we're going to switch here, two words. So the first one, firstly, climate change affects many countries. As a result, temperatures continue to rise globally. Furthermore, governments are investing in renewable energy. Nevertheless, more action is still needed. Okay. So the first one here is as a result, because this clause here, this sentence says climate change affects many countries. So whatever comes here is a result of that. As a result, temperatures continue to rise globally. Okay, let's continue. Easy, easy peasy. Okay, so here we have the would. Used to versus would. So let's do this in trees because we have a lot of exercises here. 1, 2, and 3. Choose the correct answer between used to or would.
And when I was a child, I used to play outside every day. Second, she should to used to be very shy in school. My grandmother would tell us stories every night.
Okay, this is tricky actually. I don't know if you noticed that how tricky is this exercise because in some places where you use used to, you can also use would, right? For example, in the first one, when I was a child, I would play outside every day is also correct, right? Because we're talking about a repeated action in the past and we can use would for that. The same thing here. Well, in the case of the second one, no, because we're talking about a state. We used to be very shy in school, right? My grandfather would tell us stories every night or used to. So, as I told a previous group, when you have to choose and you're not sure, stick with used to. You can never go wrong with used to. You can mess it up with would if you don't know what you're doing or you don't remember. But with used to, you can go wrong with used to. So, all of these sentences, we can use used to without any problem, and all of the sentences are going to be right. So I will ask something of you. If in one sentence you can use would, use would. So I can evaluate if you remember the rule, right? Because if you used to in everyone, that's correct, okay? Okay, so number 4, number 5, and number 6.
Well, now I'm not sure about the four. Well,
That's
I
good.
think they used to live near the beach.
Yeah, that's
Number
correct.
five. Okay. Number five. We will visit our cousins every summer. And number six. He used to smoke years ago.
Okay. Okay, well
Okay.
done. So number 4 is used to because we're talking about a state, live. Okay, they used to live. That's a state. We can't use would for that. We would visit our cousins every summer. That's correct too. And he used to smoke years ago. Okay, this is better here because we don't have enough context to use would in this case. Although we have a go, right? That is a reference of the past. Okay, let's continue with number 7, number 8, number 9, number 10. Yeah, pretty easy.
Me, please. I have a change right now. I'm driving. Excuse me.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, number 8. She used to have long hair. Number 9. My father would cook breakfast on Sundays. And the last one, they used to be close friends.
Okay, they used to be close friends. Okay, well done. Well done. So she used to have long hair. This is a state, so we have to use used to. My father would cook breakfast on Sundays, right? An action. They used to, another state, be close friends. Number 7, every winter or winter. I don't know why Americans don't like the T. Every winter, my family would travel to the mountains. Would, right? Would. Okay, so here let's continue with exercise B, rewrite using used to. Okay, so 2 volunteers, number 1 and number 2, number 3 and number 4. It's just to rewrite this using used to. Go ahead, Edison. Number 1, number 2.
Number 1, I used to play soccer every weekend. Number 2, she used to be very quiet as a child.
Yes, perfect. Number 3 and number 4. Let's go, Patricia.
Okay, number 3. They used to live in New York years ago. And number 4, we used to visit our parents every summer.
Our grandparents.
Our grandparents every summer.
Okay, well done. Okay, guys, so we're going to skip the exercise C because I think that you got the idea, and that's the point, right? Either way, you're going to reinforce that idea with your practice on the platform. Okay, so the last exercise. Tell me, Edison.
The first graph here, I have it out in a sentence that you have at last in the first graph is
Here.
first exercise. First exercise.
First.
Graph that you said to.
This?
No, the first.
Okay.
Is the say lab 3 complete paragraph. No. Let me see. What is
this one? Lab 3? Here?
No, exercise A. Choose the correct words. That's a keep and a stay.
Okay. Here. Okay. Here.
Yeah.
Okay.
In fluency, it's not just I can see that have knowing have ing and is a state verb. Is this a rule or is this?
Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay, I know what you mean. So you remember when I gave the example about have and having, that we don't use have with ing, but in certain expressions we can use it because we're not talking about like we're not talking about a state, but about an action. The same thing happens with those verbs. So when we have those stative verbs, when we're talking about the action, we don't use ing. But in some other contexts, Americans do use it. So I don't say I'm having a house, but I can say, well, I can't say that, but a woman can say, I'm having a baby. There, it's possible. I'm having breakfast. Okay? If I love someone, I don't say I am loving you. No, I say I love you because that's a state. But in some contexts, I can say I am loving you. See? So there's some context where you can use the ing, but it's not about the state you're talking. You're talking about something else. The same thing here with knowing. We normally don't use know, right? Because it's a stative verb. But here, you're talking about the action of knowing. So fluency is not just knowing rules, okay? It is the deliberate application of these precise architectural tools, okay? So here, this is an exception. We need to be aware of this, okay? Knowing. Stative verbs can be used in other contexts with ing, but it's not the same as an stative affirmation. You're not using it as an state, but as an action. I don't know if you can follow my explanation.
Say yes, yes, I can follow. Thank you.
Oh, okay, okay, okay. What I do with this, guys, because sometimes we have some issues following the train of thought of the Americans, is to get used to how they use it, and that's it, and just repeat it again. That's something I do when I'm not sure if they said it. If they say it, I say it back to, because you are the masters, right, of your language. Okay, so let's continue here. Please, okay, let's do the first three. Who wants to start so we can study tonight's grammar? Don't worry, for our next class, you will have less exercises. I promise you. Who wants to do the first three? Don't be shy now. This is the last exercise. Tell me, Jarais.
Okay, the number one, please stay calm.
Okay.
Number two, you should keep practicing every day.
Practicing every day.
And practicing, thank you. We need to keep focus.
Okay, so please stay calm. You should keep practicing every day. The last one is,
Or stay focused.
yeah, stay focused. Yeah, it's
Yes.
an emotional state. We need to stay
Yes.
focused.
Thank
Okay. Jarais, I think that you can do number 4 and number 5, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Let's stay in touch. In touch, right?
In touch, yes.
Touch. Okay. That's a word. Okay. Please keep an eye on my back.
Okay, that is an action. You know, number 4, it's more common to say, let's keep in touch. Americans say keep in touch because it's a continuous action. Let's keep in touch. And please keep an eye on my back. Again, we're using keep because we're talking about a continuous action. Okay. Pretty easy, pretty simple. Let's continue. Okay, so we're going to talk about drive, get, and make, ed, conditionals, wishes and regrets, future perfect, and future perfect continuous. Okay, don't be overwhelmed by the list of terms here. This is not complicated at all. So the first thing that we have here is expressions with drive, get, and make. These verbs are extremely common in English and are used in many fixed expressions. Students must learn the meaning as a whole expression, not word by word. When we are talking about expressions in English, we don't translate the expressions word by word. We need to understand the whole expression, okay? Here you have a list, right, of expressions with drive. In this case, the meaning of drive can be push someone emotionally, force movement, or motivate. So here you have drive someone crazy, drive someone mad, drive someone home, drive someone to do something, drive a hard bargain, drive safely, drive growth, sales, change. Here you have the meaning and you have examples. Okay? Here you have the grammar pattern, drive plus object plus adjective, you drive me crazy, or drive object, and infinitive. Poverty drove him to steal. Okay? The basic idea here is to know these expressions. and know the meaning of them. That's it. Drive someone crazy, it's pretty common in English. We see it a lot in series and movies. Then we have get. Get is one of the most, okay, one of the most versatile verbs in English. Americans use get for everything. I have a student who gets mad with the Americans because of these verbs, because he doesn't get why they use get for all those things, and the meaning of those verbs with get varies a lot. So for him, that is like a puzzle, okay, like an enigma. He's always having a hard time with get expressions all the time, and that can be overwhelming. Okay, it can be overwhelming at the beginning because Americans use get a lot. I also should add that get expressions are informal expressions. Okay, informal. So we have receive, meaning of get, sorry. Receive, I got a gift. Become, he got angry. Obtain, she got a job. Arrive, we got home late. Understand, I get it. Right? I get it. More expressions: get along, get over, get by, get rid of, get used to, get in trouble, get better, get worse, get married, get fired. You see? And this is a short list of get expressions. They have much more. Get by is a common expression with non-native speakers because people normally get by with English. Get by, they manage. Okay, let's continue. Here we have the grammar structures. Get plus adjective means become, and get plus past participle, often passive meaning. And make. Make can mean create, force, cause. Make a cake, make someone cry, make me happy, right? Expressions like make money, make sense, make progress, make a decision, make friends, make a mistake, make an effort, make up your mind. I love this expression. Make up your mind. Make someone laugh. Make up your mind. The grammar pattern is make plus object plus base verb. She made me cry. The teacher made us study. I hope I am doing this, making you study. Okay, we normally don't use to, made me to, okay, so avoid this structure. Here you have the meaning and more examples. Okay, so this is the first exercise. Here you have to choose drive, get, or make. Okay, and here we have to rewrite these sentences using drive, get, or make. Pretty simple, pretty short. Okay, so far so good. Is that clear? Do you have any questions? No? Okay. My advice with these expressions, because you won't fail a test, well, you won't fail the infotep test if you don't know this, but you need this to speak. So my advice is a practical one. Try to incorporate those expressions the next time you speak with someone, you talk to someone. That's the only way you're going to use it. Okay, let's continue. So in English, we have a phenomenon. The phenomenon is that we have verbs that end in ed and it's not past tense. We have verbs that end in ed and it's not a past tense. And verbs that end in ing and it's not present continuous, right? So we have ed and ing adjectives. Adjectives. This is pretty common in English. So we use ed to describe feelings. Person feels something, to describe a state. And we use ing to describe someone, like a characteristic of someone, a trait of someone. For example, I'm bored. That's a state. That's a temporal state. I'm bored. I'm tired. Those are states, right? But if I say, I am boring, it means something different. So when I say I am bored, it means that I am in that state. I am bored. That's the state. That is a temporal state because later I won't feel bored. Maybe I feel bored because I'm doing nothing and I want to do something and I feel bored. Or maybe because the class makes me feel bored. Okay, so that's a state. Boring is the characteristic of someone or something. So if I say that I am boring, it's not a state, it's a trait of my personality, a trait of Rancel. He is boring. Okay? We can use another example. Amazing and amazed. If I feel, if I am, let's say, surprised by something that I did, I can say I was amazed when I saw her doing that. Yo estaba sorprendido. I was amazed. That's a state. But if I say Yarais is amazing, that's a characteristic of Yarais. Yarais is increíble. She's amazing. So, amazing with ing describes something or something or a person, okay? Because I can use the ing with an object. I can say this iPhone is amazing, right? It's a characteristic of this cell phone, of this smartphone. But I can't say that this iPhone is amazed, okay? Because it's an object. It doesn't have a state. It doesn't have an state, right? But I can say it's amazing. Okay? So that's the difference, guys. Ed, a state for people or animals. Because your dog might be bored, right? Can be bored. At least that's what we get from certain expressions that we see on animals. But ing is for people as well as for objects. Okay? Don't forget that because in your test, you will have like 2 questions where you have to use or choose ed or ing. You have to remember that, the difference. Here you have a couple of examples: bored, excited, tired, confused, worried, disappointed, embarrassed, frightened, amazed, exhausted. All of these verbs, you can use them with ing, okay? Boring, exciting, tiring, confusing, worrying, disappointing, embarrassing, frightening, amazing, exhausting. You see, the same verb can be used with ed or ing, but the meaning changes. You're not saying the same thing. Is that clear?
Yes, teacher.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay, so another exercise. You see, small exercises. Here you have to choose one of the options, and here you have to complete the blank spaces using one of the options that you have here. Pretty easy too. Let's continue. Okay, so here we have conditionals. Well, one conditional. I need to ask, have you seen conditionals before? Have you seen conditionals before? Yes? Okay. So you know that we have four conditionals. Well, five conditionals. We have zero conditional, first conditional, second conditional, third conditional, mixed conditional type A, and mixed conditional type B. We are not going to talk about that now. We're going to focus on conditional type 2. So remember that we use conditional type 2 to talk about a hypothetical situation in the present, right? If I had if I won the lottery, I would buy a yacht. That's a second conditional structure, right? I'm talking about a hypothetical situation. If I won the lottery, I would buy a yacht. But those two clauses are hypothetical because I haven't won the lottery, and I'm not sure and I can't guarantee that I would buy a yacht if I actually won the lottery. But it's hypothetical, right? So, with that in mind, let's talk about this. In the second conditional, when we are talking about hypothetical present situations, we can use one of these structures: unless, only if, and even if. Okay? In the same second conditional, we can use expressions like unless, only if, and even if. Okay? So, unless means except if, right? Normally, when we have unless, the structure is as follows: unless, present, past clause. Okay, examples. I wouldn't go unless you came with me. She wouldn't study unless the exam were important. We need to remember that unless carries a negative idea. So we don't use unless in a negative sentence. Okay? We use it in an affirmative sentence because it already carries a negative idea. So if I use unless in a negative sentence, they will contradict each other because one is going to cancel the other. So I will be expressing something entirely different. Okay? And confusing. So we have unless, which means except if, a condition in the second conditional structure. Then we have only if, which means only in that condition. I would move abroad only if I found a good job. He would apologize only if you asked him, right? Only if. So as you can see, we're replacing the normal if for an only if. And even if, which means regardless of the condition. Regardless of the condition. Examples: even if I were rich, I wouldn't buy the car. I wouldn't buy that car. I would help you even if I were busy. So as you can see, these expressions help us express, right? They help us express different nuances when we're talking. And that's it. That's it. What you can forget is the structure. We use this in the second conditional structure, which is if, past simple, subject, would, base verb. If I had more money, I would travel. We need to know this by heart because Americans speak a lot in hypothetical situations. Okay, here you have, again, two small exercises. Complete with unless, only if, or even if, right? And create sentences. Make unreal conditional sentences using unless, only if, and even if. Pretty short. Is that clear, guys? we're moving forward pretty quickly. Okay, don't worry, we're almost at the end. Okay, 4. Wishes and regret. Again, I have to ask, have you seen the structure of wish before? I guess you have, but I need you to confirm. Have you seen this structure? I wish. The I wish structure. Okay, perfect. Okay, so here, this is more like a review. So, we use wishes, the verb wish, for wishes and regrets. Used to talk about unreal desires, sadness, and remorse. So here we have 3 types of wishes structures, right? We have the one with the present, which you are wishing about the present, wishing about the past, which is regrets, and wishes about the future. Okay? So the first thing that we need to remember is that every time we use wish, this first part is always in present simple. This first part, this one, and this one is always in present simple. All the time, guys. All the time. After that, you will have the structure that will tell me if you're talking about the present, about the past, or about the future. But I wish is always in the same tense. Present simple. Why is that important? You will see now. So here we have wishes about the present. I wish I were taller. I use wish plus past simple, right? When I am talking about a wish that I have about the present. I wish I were taller. She wishes, you see, yes, because the first part is in present simple. So the rule of the third person singular applies. She wishes she had more time. Reality is different now. Okay? If I say I wish I were taller, it's because I'm not that tall. Number 2, wishes about the past, regrets. In this case, we use the past perfect. I wish I had studied harder. Remember that the past perfect, in order to use or to build the past perfect, we need the auxiliary, which is the past simple of the verb have, had, and the past participle of the verb. I wish I had studied harder. He wishes, again, he wishes. Present simple, the rule applies. He wishes he hadn't said that. Regrets. These express regret. And the last one, wishes about the future. In this case, we use would. I wish it would stop raining. Remember that because would is a modal verb, it is always followed by a base verb form all the time. I wish it would stop raining. She wishes, again, he would listen. You see, present simple. The same rule applies. He would listen. Okay? Important grammar note. With wish in unreal present, use were for all persons in formal English. I wish I were taller. I don't know if this bugs you. It did bug me in the past. Because you start learning English and the first thing that you learn is the past of the verb to be is I was, you were, he was, she was, right? But then you come to the wish structure or unreal situations structure, and now it's where for all the pronouns. I wear, you wear, he wear, she wear, it wear. I need to say, I need to add to that some Americans do not respect this rule and they use was where they should use where. Okay? So if you're watching a movie or listening to a podcast, don't be surprised if you hear an American say, I wish I was taller instead of I wish I were taller because they like to change things. Okay? Okay, easy peasy. This is a small exercise. We have to choose the correct one. And here we have to write sentence. One sentence with a present wish, one sentence with with regret, and one sentence with a future wish. Pretty simple. One for each. Tell me, Jarais. Jarais, your hand is raised. Jarais, if you're talking to us, your microphone is off. You are muted.
Sorry, so sorry. I want to ask something about the last one, the wish
Okay.
form. Uh, we so does mean we have to use where all the time or no?
You have when you're talking about a present reality that you want it to
Okay.
be that you want it to be different, you have to use the verb to be where or the past simple. Let's make this simpler. Just the past simple. So you have two past simples. You have the past simple of the verb to be, and you have the other past simple for all the actions, the action verbs. So when you're using the verb to be in this specific structure, you have to use where for all the pronouns.
Okay. Okay. Thank you,
Okay.
Fish.
Okay. Oh, you're welcome. Okay, that's the tricky part, and that's why I say that it bugged me because
Mm-hmm.
you feel
Yes, but because I listen the American people say was all the time, so
yes. Americans do a lot of things that are wrong. Okay, they do, and
yes.
they have normalized many. How can I say this? Grammatical grammatical errors. Okay, because you when you are studying the language, you see how things should be, but then you have the reality of the spoken English, which is by itself like a different world. So they normally change things. But when you are being evaluated and you are taking a test, the test doesn't care about what Americans do in real life. They want you to do things like by the book, to use the rules that you have in the book. Although you won't use that when you're talking. For example, I don't know if you remember when we were talking about the present perfect. I told you that we normally use since, for, already, just, and yet in the present perfect. But Americans don't use it like that. So instead of using the present perfect and say, for example, I have already eaten, they say, I already ate. So they're using already, which we normally use in present perfect structures, in a past simple structure. And they talk like that. Have you eaten yet? That's the correct form. But they say, did you eat yet? They use the past simple. So in spoken English, it's correct. They understand that, and for them, is that you don't have to. Well, there's nothing wrong with that. For them, there's nothing wrong with that. But when you are being evaluated, if you do that, you're going to fail the test because that's not the rule. The rule is present perfect. Okay, so we have to be able to navigate in both waters. You have to be able to understand that here in this course or any other course, you're going to learn rigid rules that you have to apply if you are taking a test. But when you go to the US, if you travel to the US, you will find a different reality because they use and apply those rules differently when they're speaking. Okay.
Okay, yes.
Okay. We're almost at the end, guys. Bear with me a little longer. Okay, so here we have common adjectives, right? Optimistic, pessimistic, confident, arrogant, humble, stubborn, open minded, narrow minded, ambitious, lazy, responsible, immature, patient, and impatient. Here you have the meaning of that, okay? So, in our next class, we have an exercise with these common adjectives. You have to describe a good teacher using these adjectives, a bad boss, and a good friend. You have to use at least 3 adjectives, okay? Simple. Here you have more adjectives. I will ask this question in our next class. What values are most important in society? Here we have, values like honesty, loyalty, kindness, generosity, courage, responsibility, integrity, respect, compassion, patience. So I will ask this open question. What values are most important in society from your perspective? Is honesty always the best policy? And why is loyalty important? So we will debate these questions in our next class. And the last topics, okay, yeah, the last topic. Here we have future perfect and future perfect continuous. This is pretty simple, okay? So let's start with future perfect. We use the future perfect for actions completed before a future time. So the idea is that you are saying that something is going to be completed before a specific point in the future. So for this, we need the subject, will have, right? Will have in the past participle of the verb. Example, for instance, by 2030, I will have graduated. Okay, she, another sentence, will have finished the project by Friday. Okay, so the first one, by 2030, I will have graduated means that when we get to this year, 2030, I will have graduated. Okay, so the action will be completed before that future moment. And something really important, we use specific time expressions when we build future perfect sentences. We use by the time, before, and in 2 years or in 4 years. Don't forget that. So future perfect is for completion, will have finished. What about future perfect continuous? We use it to emphasize duration before a future moment. Duration. Similar, right? But the emphasis varied. So subject will have been and the verb in ing. As I told you before, every time we talk about a continuous tense, we have to use the verb to be. Okay, we have to use the verb to be. In this case, we'll use the verb to be in its past participle form. Will have been. So, examples. By next year, I will have been teaching for 10 years. Here, I am emphasizing duration. He will have been working here since 2020. Again, I am emphasizing duration. Period. Pretty simple. This might be the easiest tenses in English from the perfect tenses, right? And here we have 2 simple exercises. Choose the correct form, 3 sentences, and complete 3 more sentences. That's it, guys. Okay, 9:23. Still 7 minutes left, and we have finished. We already finished. You see that I just used the already finished in the American way. We have already finished. Well, it's okay. Yada 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 is the same thing.
Teacher,
Yes.
please speak a little about the last test that we have to take for graduate.
I've been talking about that test throughout the whole course. Because we have been reviewing topics that are going to be there. But I can confirm nor deny exactly what test you are going to take because I don't have the answer. I mean, I don't know myself which test you will take. I will try to find the answer. I will talk to the advisor, and I will ask her if she knows which test specifically you're supposed to take. The Cambridge version of the Infotech Cambridge version, which is a totally different version, or the one that you took at the beginning of the course. But I'm not sure. That's why I don't say specifically you're going to take this one.
We are going to take an oral test, aren't we?
No, no. Sorryly, no. If it if it were up to me, you would take an oral test, but it's not up to me. It's up to Infotep, and they don't use oral tests. I think that you will have an interview with the director of this program in English. That's what they told me, that you will have a private interview. So he will speak with each one of you to verify maybe how good was the progress during this course. Okay? But I'm not sure if that is what is going to happen exactly at the end of the course because they have been telling me different things. Okay, but I will do my homework and I will ask her precisely so you know exactly where you stand and what you need to do in order to finish successfully this program. Okay.
Okay, another question. Excuse me.
Yes, of course. Shoot.
Uh, what at what time we are going to finish this level?
Oh, this is almost over. I mean, we have only 3 more classes left.
What?
Yes, 3 more classes left because this is the advanced course. The advanced course only have 200 hours. So because you guys are going to graduate in a formal graduation ceremony, you need to finish this on time and you need to be ready by June. So this course is going to end in 3 more classes. So this is almost over. So we have, yeah, Sundays, Wednesday, and next Sundays. Okay, then the Sunday after the next is going to be the last. That's why you have all this information in every class. I bring all this material, which I know is a lot, but we have to see the whole material from the course. Any more questions?
Any advice? Any advice? Any advice
I've
for
been
us?
giving you advice through all the course. If you take the Cambridge test and you pay attention to the things that I've been saying, every time I say this is in your test, I am giving you clues, not clues, cues about your test because the Cambridge test I know because I have taken it like 3 times for different reasons. and I know that test. I gave a course to teachers to pass that test. So I know exactly what you need to pass the Cambridge test, but I'm not sure if you're going to take that test. That's why tomorrow I will ask to be sure if you're going to take that test. If you're going to take that test, in our last class, I will give you a review of the points you have to take into consideration, that you have to put your effort in to be able to pass that test. Because I taught a course for teachers to pass that test, so I know that test pretty well. But the other one, the one you take at the beginning of the course, I don't know how it is because I have never taken it. Tell me, Jarais.
Um. Okay. It's it's a question weird. I don't
Okay.
know. Are we going to take the exam, right? And then attend the graduation, right?
Uh,
Or we have to show up present ourselves or something like that.
for the graduation,
Yes.
yes, it's a formal ceremony.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it's a
I'm
formal ceremony.
nervous.
You don't have to be. Don't
In,
be. I mean, it's a formal ceremony.
uh,
And you are in a special group because you are the first generation of the academy. You know, Infotep launched this program last year, and you, along other students, are the first generation. So they're proud of you, as you should be of yourselves. But you will share that ceremony with other students from other technical careers. Okay, ebanistas, electricistas, many other students. Any other
thank you.
questions?
Thank you.
Okay, my pleasure. Okay, guys, if you don't have any more questions, I promise you that I will ask tomorrow. I will ask around and to know exactly what test you're going to take. Okay, what test you are going to take. But don't worry, I think that you will do fine. You will do great. Okay, so with that being said, this class will be available tomorrow. Tomorrow you will have another practice based on tonight's topic. And remember that the practice that I uploaded on Sunday is going to be available until 11:59 p.m. tonight. Okay, guys, so have a really good night. Enjoy the rest of the week and see you on Sunday again at 3:30 p.m. Goodbye, good night.
Right.
Good night, teacher.
Good
Thank
night.
you.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Bye bye. Good night.